Hi, I'm Heather with First Pioneers Federal Credit Union, and welcome to the Money Tips No One Told You podcast. Here at First Pioneers, we love helping you understand your finances better and giving you the tools you need to be financially successful. Here, we're going to talk about financial terminology, how different accounts work. We're going to share tips that make your financial life easier, and so much more. Are you ready to dive in? So welcome back, everyone. I'm really excited to be here this week because I have a very, very special guest with me. I'm so excited that he's joined me. Juan Fernandez is the new president and CEO of the Louisiana Credit Union League. Hi, Juan.
Hi, Heather. It's such a pleasure to be with you and all your listeners.
I'm so glad you're here. I've been so excited to talk to you. And I guess let's just jump right in. I wanted to ask you about how you got started in credit unions. I've heard you kind of talk about it a little bit, and I just think it's a very interesting story. So I was hoping you would share how you got to where you are.
Sure. Well, Heather, first of all, thank you for inviting me to be here in this podcast, and hello to all your credit union viewers and listeners. So this month actually marks my 21st anniversary of working at a credit union. And my journey into banking actually started when I was a freshman in high school. I spent a lot of time with my English teacher because I had just moved to the U.S. from the mainland U.S. from Puerto Rico. So she was mentoring me and really helping me through. And her husband worked at a community bank, actually. So she told me, look, if you're interested in banking, your senior year of high school, there's this great internship program where you can become a teller at the bank. And then in the morning you go to school, and then in the afternoon you go and you work as a teller. So I remembered that. In my senior year of high school, I applied and went through that program. And then for my first couple of years in college, I went back to that bank and I worked as a teller. And then when I was working at the bank, a former bank manager came in and started talking to me because he had gone to work at a credit union. And he was really excited about telling me how credit unions were different and how I would prefer working at the credit union. So I was 19 at the time, and that was my first credit union job. I jumped on the opportunity and I never looked back. I loved working at a credit union. I loved the credit union difference. And then I worked at 3 different credit unions in upstate New York, and eventually did an internship at the New York legislature, which led me to then get a job at the New York Credit Union League. And in that role, I was helping credit unions with economic development. So finding new opportunities to serve underserved markets and serve people that were being left behind by for-profit financial institutions. And I loved that job, and then eventually went to work in the New Mexico Credit Union Association, helping them with advocacy. So really helping credit unions advocate and promote and defend credit unions before the legislature. And now I was there since 2007 until about 2 or 3 months ago when I came to Louisiana. And I'm really, really excited to be here and be working for all of Louisiana's credit unions.
Oh, we're excited to have you. I mean, credit unions, I think everyone, you start to know each other as you go to different conferences and things like that. And of course, everything we've heard about you is just so great. And, that's quite a rise, and really, really quickly, because I mean, you're still a young man, that's quite a career path. And I think that's really great. I think it's going to be great for Louisiana. Um, Maybe speak for a minute about the legislature and how they advocate for us and how they help us.
Sure. So, I mean, credit unions have been around since the 1930s. They were founded because banks were not lending to working families. They would put branches in communities of working people, and they would take their deposits, but they wouldn't lend to them. So during the Great Depression, there was a great run on the banks, and a lot of those banks closed. So credit unions stepped in, and there was explosive growth for credit unions. Well, ever since that, ever since we were founded and we began, 90-ish years ago, the reality has been that banks have been attacking credit unions. So the reason that it's so important for credit unions to be in front of the legislatures is really to really defend and promote what credit unions are, and look for ways to ease regulatory burdens and allow credit unions to do more in communities that need credit unions, and find better ways to serve the members of credit unions. So that's why it's so important to advocate for credit unions. That's what I did for about 13 years in New Mexico. And of course, here, I'm not the lobbyist for the league, but in some ways, I'm the chief lobbyist for the league. So that's what I'll be doing for Louisiana's credit unions in part.
That's so amazing. I love that. We've got some great partners that really do advocate for us in what we're doing, because that what we do is so important. And I want to talk about that in just a second. But first, I wanted to see if you could explain to people a little bit. When I say credit union league, I mean, we know what this is because we work in the industry, but so many people don't understand, well, what is a league? Because I mean, we have a local league, we have a state league, and then there's things that happen at a national level, and it's very different than it would be in banking. And so I would love to can you explain that a little bit to people, kind of what the leagues are and
Sure.
what their purpose is?
So I'm going to once again take us back to the 1930s. So, back when all that was happening with the Great Depression, the Federal Credit Union Act was signed into law. And that led to an explosive growth in the number of credit unions, because communities were coming together and organizing and saying, hey, we're the employees of XYZ company. We're the people that live in the city. We want a credit union. So they started credit unions. So coincidentally, that happened in 1934, that the Federal Credit Union Act got signed into law. That same year, the Louisiana Credit Union League was formed. And the reason that it was formed was because Louisiana's credit unions came together, and they knew that they could be more efficient. They could do more by collaborating, by coming together and forming a league. And at the end of the day, credit unions are financial cooperatives. We are not-for-profit financial institutions that are here, that are owned by our members, and are here to serve the member owners of the credit union. And what the league does is we look for ways to provide advocacy. So like we were talking a minute ago about what we can do to promote and defend credit unions in both Baton Rouge at the local level and at the federal level. We provide education and professional development for credit union employees, and we also help credit unions comply with regulation, because we are a very regulated industry, as we know. So we help credit unions navigate through the regulation. We also help credit unions find new opportunities by coming together and doing things together, bargaining, negotiating with vendors together, as opposed to each individual credit union trying to do it on their own. So at the end of the day, if I was to summarize it into one word, we really help credit unions thrive. I mean, that's basically what our mission is and what we do.
Yeah, that's so important. I mean, I've taken part in several of the education opportunities, and it's so nice just to learn the things, but also as we come together as a community. And we say it all the time, and I know people think, are you just saying that? But credit unions really are a family. As employees where we work at First Pioneers, we all consider ourselves a family. But then even all the credit unions in Lafayette, we all reach out to each other, we help each other. And then I can't tell you how many times I've reached out to another credit union in Louisiana. Hey, I'm trying to do this. I've seen that you've done it. Can you help me? Or they've done the same with me. And it really is a big family. And it takes everybody sometimes to succeed. I think, as a group, you can sometimes maybe succeed a little easier when you have folks in your corner. So I don't know that people really know that, even if they're a member of a credit union. I'm not sure they really know kind of how deep it really does go, and how much we really do help each other.
It's true. I mean, at the end of the day, I think credit unions, for the most part, really see each other as peers and fellow credit unions. And And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, someone once told me that there's something like that they call a credit union heart. And it's so true. It's like you see someone that works at a credit union and you kind of gravitate toward them, and it's wonderful. It's great. It's a great place to work. So by the way, anyone that's watching or listening, I mean, credit unions, you don't have to be a math wizard to come work at a credit. I mean, Heather, you're in marketing. I started out in community development, and economic development, and government relations. So there's all kinds of things that you could do at a credit union. So it's a great place to work. But most importantly, it's a great place where you're not just a number. Where, I mean, how many times, I mean, have I seen my own family members, you know, or be on their dining room table with bills and not knowing how they're going to be able to pay their bills. I mean, money is something that's really stressful. I like to say that you need to have a plan for your money, or your money's going to have a plan for you, and it's not going to be a good one. And what a great partner credit unions are. It's a trusted resource where you are part owner, and you can know that you can go and you can have those tough conversations, those intimate conversations, and know that you're not going to be judged and you're going to be provided the help that you need. So that's why I love credit unions, because yes, we collaborate with each other, but at the end of the day, we're there for each other, for the communities that we serve, for our members. It's a great place to work. So, I mean, if there's nothing else that I hope that our listeners and watchers really get from this conversation, is like, come and if you're not a member, join the credit union. If you're already a member, get more engaged with a credit union. If maybe you're a member and you only have a couple of accounts, but you need help, come to the credit union and have those conversations, because your credit union is really here for you. If you're looking for employment, come, look for job openings. I mean, we're always looking for people with those credit union hearts, that are really standing ready and really excited about being part of something greater than themselves, and really a purpose and a mission. So yeah, that's, so you can tell I'm really excited about my job and about what we do.
I love that. That is so fun. And I want to piggyback on that for a second. There's a lot of us at our credit union. We have 2 locations. But the vast majority of our employees are certified as counselors. And I went through that program as well. And I learned so much in the program. And I love that we were given, I guess, a deeper knowledge base, so that when people do come to us, there's so many things we can help them with so quickly,
Mhm.
that we've been equipped to be able to do that for people. And just, look, just come ask us the question. I'm sure there's an answer that we can find somewhere. So I love that. And I love that the leagues are so involved in that and want us to have that knowledge so that we can help our members and help our communities.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's interesting you mentioned that. That's one of the other things that we do at the league as part of our professional development and our community involvement, is we do run training programs to help credit union employees become certified financial coaches. So once again, you're not, the members, when you're having a financial difficulty, you're not just walking in and talking to someone that may not know what they're talking about. No, you're talking to someone that's a certified financial coach that can really help you through your situation. And the end goal is really to achieve financial freedom and wellness. I mean, it's really to not have to worry about money, and know that you are in a place where you're financially secure, and you're in a good place. I mean, I've been there. I mean, I remember once upon a time, and when I was younger, doing what some people call robbing Peter to pay Paul. Doing a cash advance from one credit card to make the minimum payment on the other credit card. And so I've been there, done that, and I will tell you, and I'm sure people that are probably listening to this, some of you probably are going through that. I mean, I know what it was like, and I remember having sleepless nights over that, because having anxiety about making sure that I was going to be able to make that next payment, and coming and talking to someone and coming up with a plan so that you can wrap your arms around your money is so important and so freeing. And if there's one thing that I'm really excited about that credit unions do, above all else. I mean, yes, we save people money, but at the end of the day, we really put people on a path to really own their own destiny, and that's really, really exciting.
I agree. We actually had a couple of episodes ago. I think we were talking about finances and your mental health and how
Mhm.
it's just one of the biggest worries. I think for most people, in their lives, it's money because you have to have money for the world to go around and for you to live in that world. But do you feel like that's the basis of when we say the credit union movement? We always say it's people helping people, but do you feel like that's kind of where the nuts and bolts of what the credit union movement is?
I do. I think it's about really transforming people's financial situation. I mean, not just offering a checking account, a savings account, and at better fees and rates. Sure, we do that, and that's great. But at the end of the day, it's about really transforming communities. It's a Mobius loop. I mean, when you deposit money at a credit union, that money's going to be lent to someone that needs that money in the community. It's not going to go to Wall Street. It's not going to go to New York City, or California, or whatever, or wherever else. It's going to be lent right at the local community, to small business owners, to people that need a car, to people that are needing that leg up to advance. Um, because not all debt is bad, by the way. I mean, we really are here to put people on the right path. Sometimes that means refinancing their debt. Sometimes that means giving money so that they can afford a car so they can go to work. At the end of the day, that's the power of the credit unions, and the relationships and the partnerships that credit unions all across Louisiana have with nonprofits and other community centers are so important. So yeah, I do think that is, if we were to sum it up, that is truly the credit union difference, is how we really transform lives, but not just lives, but also communities, and really um, bring change by helping people help themselves, which is the other beautiful thing. I mean, I like to say that one of the other reasons I love credit unions is because it's not corporations doing, giving money away, and it's not the government. It's really people helping people. It's really us coming together to help each other. And it's pretty unique, it's pretty awesome, and that's why I think that's what really drives me the most to what we do.
Yeah, it's a great feeling to be able to have someone come to you that maybe everyone else turned away, or they just couldn't figure out a way to find help, and they finally made their way to our door from a referral or whatever it was, and we're able to just sit down with them and to see the relief on their faces, to see their shoulders just literally relax as someone helped them figure out a plan, because that's really all they needed was a plan. They needed someone to sort of set them on the right path. And it's uh it's such a beautiful thing to see and to know that you've helped someone, because I mean, like you said, we've all been there. We've all been paycheck to paycheck, and goodness knows now it's harder, with all the inflation and all the things going on, that there's a lot of people struggling right now. So to be in a position to maybe help them get out of that is yeah, I guess that's why
Mhm.
we all come to work every day.
That's right. And your credit union is a CDFI certified credit union, right?
We are that was fairly recent, but yes, you can explain better what
Sure.
that
So
is than
so
I
yeah.
can.
Well, just to sum it up, and that's really exciting. At the end of the day, that what that means for the membership is that the credit union is committed to lending to communities that need the funding, to underserved communities, marginalized communities, to working people. And at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about, is working people throughout your community. And that's really exciting. And I'm really excited to learn about all the folks that you have that are certified as financial coaches. I think that is really amazing.
It's been really nice. I think we have 21 employees, and I think 15 of us are actually certified. And then when we got the CDFI designation, it was really exciting because we could reach even more people,
Mhm.
and the folks that are out there going, you know what, I need a car, or I'm trying to get to work, and they've had trouble before because maybe a credit score or something like that. Well, this gives us an opportunity to maybe reach a little bit deeper and help a few more people, or hopefully a lot more people,
Mhm.
with that kind of certification. So Yeah, we've been our designation, I'm sorry. So we've been very excited about that. Like I said, it's kind of been recent, I think within the past few months. So we're kind of gearing it up and growing it more. But that was something we were all very excited to see happen. And I'm hoping we're going to be able to reach out even more to our community, our nonprofits and things like that to start to bring them into that and hopefully grow um that opportunity, by reaching out to them. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
super excited about that. Um so do you have anything to share with us? What are your thoughts on future plans, and maybe not just for Louisiana, maybe even on a national level, of where do you see the credit union movement going? Do you have any fun plans in mind for us?
Sure. So I'll just touch base on a couple of the things where, the general areas that are going to be my priorities as the new CEO of the Louisiana League. I mean, first and foremost, we have such an awesome group of leaders in the state. We have credit union leaders around the state that are really committed to helping our movement thrive. And we call ourselves a movement because that's what we are. We're collaborating to really transform lives in general. So one of my priorities is going to be what we can do to continue harnessing technology so that we can innovate and make sure that credit unions are continuing to keep up and really be leaders when it comes to technology. So credit union members have access to the same technology as the fintechs or the for-profit financial institutions. So that's going to be a big priority to me. Not only do I want us to be relevant, but I want to go beyond that. I really want us to really lead and really continue offering the solutions that our members need. I am committed to helping credit union employees across the board find new paths for professional development and really be inspired to be the next generation of leaders in our movement. As I mentioned earlier, I started as a teller, so I really want to see our young professionals and our new credit union employees really have a path so that as we have a generational shift in leadership, we have people that are already ready to really take the baton and take our movement forward and continue serving our communities. So those are a couple of the priorities that I have. I mean, I want also my background, as I mentioned earlier, for a big part of my career was advocacy. So how we can go on a proactive, strategic approach to advocacy to help credit unions do more in the communities and serve even more folks up right than we do right now. So those are just some of the things that I'm going to be focused on in the next 6 months. I'm really excited. We have a great team at the league. And we have a great team in our credit union. So I think we've been waiting for us to really start pushing ahead and really seizing these opportunities. And I'm glad to be here.
Good. Oh, I love hearing all that. I think it's not only is it good for us, but like we said, how many times have we said it, that when it's good for us, it's good for the members, because the more we know and the more we can share. And I love the technology. That's so hard to keep up with sometimes. There's
Mhm.
so much that happens so quickly. But I think the credit unions have done a really good job. The ones that I'm aware of and know
Mhm.
about, especially in our area, I think they've done a really good job making sure that we're able to provide all the things that our members need. um, well, is there anything else you want to share before we finish up today?
Well, no, I mean, I think to sum it up, I'm excited to be here and I really appreciate the invitation to be here. And I really hope that those listening or watching really lean into the credit union even more than you are today, because there's so many opportunities. And we're really here to help transform lives. I mean, we're really a movement with heart and soul, and we change lives each and every day. And I mean, I'm assuming that someone on this call is probably going through a financially difficult time, and I really hope that by listening to this podcast or watching this, they will know that it's okay, and that we're here to help them, and that they can come and they're welcomed at the credit union, and we really see them and we see them for what they are. We're not here to judge them. So I'm excited to be here, and I think once again, thanks for the invitation.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad you joined us. and I think we had a lot of good information to share with the listeners. And like we said, I say it every time, every episode. If you ever need anything, if you have questions, if you need to talk to someone, please reach out. Either one of our locations, or if you're already a member of a credit union, reach out to them. We're always here to help. That's what we're here for. So thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening today. We hope you found this information helpful, and we'd love it if you'd give us a rating. And don't forget to favorite or subscribe to the show. There are several ways you can find us if you need further information or you need to speak with a financial counselor. You can visit us in person in Lafayette or New Iberia, Louisiana, or you can find us at firstpioneers.com. There you can find out how to become a member of our family and find out other financial information. Be sure and check out the show notes for important links and other information. And as always, we're here to help in any way that we can. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.